Hi guys, the LoreLord here, and since I didn't upload on Monday, I've decided to upload a Fallout lore video today, and this video is about all the events in pre-war history that led up to the Great War. First of all, the Great War was a part of a huge collection of wars that were happening around the same time, called the Resource Wars. The reason they were called the Resource Wars is because they were all about the same thing, oil, because around this time, the world was running out of oil, and nations were invading each other in a desperate attempt to get their oil, since oil was one of the biggest and probably one of the only sources of power in the Fallout universe, apart from nuclear power. The 5 nations or group of nations that were involved in this war are the United States, Communist China, the European Commonwealth, which is the Fallout universe's equivalent to our European Union, the Middle East, and the Soviet Union, because the Soviet Union was still around because of the divergence that happened. So here's how the Resource Wars played out. The Resource Wars started in April 2052. This was when the world was starting to run out of oil. Middle Eastern countries were exporting oil at much more expensive prices now, and the European Commonwealth, which depended on these exports, responded with military action and invaded the Middle East. Meanwhile, Communist China attempts an expedition into the Pacific Ocean to find any oil beneath it. However, this expedition is sabotaged by the American spies, and with China now out of the way, the American oil company, Poseidon Oil, claims the Pacific Ocean for their own. On the 26th of July of the same year, the United Nations officially disbanded, since tensions across the world had become too high. From 2053 to 2054, nuclear weapons start being used by both the Middle East and the European Commonwealth in the Euro-Middle Eastern War. This worries the United States government, which sets Project Safehouse into motion, i.e. getting Vault-Tec to start operating their vaults. The Middle Eastern War ends in the year 2060, as the Middle East has now completely run out of oil. The war ends in a truce, and in the same year, the European Commonwealth goes into civil war with itself. In the winter of 2066, the Sino-American War begins, as China invades the United States' largest source of oil, Alaska, and takes the city of Anchorage, which becomes the main theatre of the Sino-American War. Whilst trying to retake Anchorage and the rest of occupied Alaska, the Americans also invade mainland China itself. The plan was to create enough damage back at home to cause the Chinese army in Alaska to fall back. And it worked. On the 10th of January 2077, the Americans retook Alaska and the war was officially over. However, on the 23rd of October of that same year, that was when the Great War happened. That war only lasted a few hours. That war was when all the nations of the world that had nuclear weapons fired them at their enemies. And that war caused the world of Fallout to be as we know it today. And that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.